using an image and to building something that young black kids and kids around the world could aspire to.
Oh, wow. Danger.
Keep my wife's name out mouth.
Oh, well, what the actual... Hi, this is the Rustnator, and welcome to another rant. Now, we've all seen Smith cast a pall on this self-congratulatory session of ass-kissing and back-slapping with his mate. The fact is, this is the most interesting thing to have happened in the Academy Award in years, causing many of us to think that it was a stunt to try and boost the ratings of a struggling show. Mainly because interest in the Academy Awards has been flagging significantly for one reason or another. But then when he sat down and started swearing, hurling abuse at Chris Rock, I realised, as many did, that this is actually for real. The auditorium went dead silent. Everyone's stunned, probably reaching for indigestion tablets at that point. You see, they aren't used to violence in real life. On set, sure, but not in real life. The people around Smith are openly tense, not sure what he's going to do next. I found this interesting. Shit. If you know you can trust someone, even if they're losing their shit, you're not tense. You have the confidence to go up and try and settle them down. But no one seems to dare to go near him. Now, I must admit there is stuff that probably happened off camera that we didn't see. No one seemed to go near him. Now, I wonder if there's something in that. So let's break down what happened. I'm sure we're all familiar with the clip. On the surface it seems simple enough. 1 minute Will Smith is laughing at a joke, next minute he's walking up and slapping Chris Rock, and then he sits down and carries on like a teenager on meth. Having watched the lead up to this, however, I wonder if Will Smith may have been laughing at a previous joke aimed at Javier Bardem.
He is praying that Will Smith wins. Like, please, Lord.
Who, by the way, seems to take a joke much better than Will Smith does. I think he's still laughing at that joke as Rock continues to speak.
Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right?
Smith then kind of has a Homer Simpson moment.
Something was said. Not good. What was it?
Realises Jada Smith has seen him laughing at her expense and chooses then to react. He struts up without any kind of a warning and slaps Chris Rock. Ambushes him, if you like. Like the brave person he is. Big smile on his face. Rock obviously thinks this is some kind of a joke, right up until contact is made. And then Smith turns around and swaggers back to his seat like he's King Richie, or as I like to call him now, King Dick. All of this, I think, to show Jada Smith he's a tough man who loves her. But whatever happened, I have a number of problems with this action. My first problem is, of course, the idea of using violence to settle a problem. Don't get me wrong, I like a good action flick as much as the next person, but as I watch these flicks, I know what I'm watching is not real, and I'm not about to try and copy it. But what we saw was real, visceral. At the start of this video, we saw Smith saying he wanted to hold himself up as a role model for his younger audiences, set himself as an example for them to follow. This audience is able to separate his movies from reality, but when they see their idol do this, the lines become blurred. Now, these actors believe that people are so impressionable and that they themselves, the actors, are so great that they need to virtue signal in everything they do. They act as though their very presence influences society for the better. So when you see a clip like this, you think you see the real Hollywood. I think you begin to realise that these actors are just that. They're actors. And that their egos will not let them believe anything else.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
They think that people hang off their every word. And I think what Will Smith has just done is prick that little Hollywood bubble. Because what we have seen here is what happens when they let their guard down. They forget that people are watching them, whether it be under the influence of alcohol or whether it be in a moment of impulsive rage. They behave like the real people they are. Next, there's the attitude of I must protect my woman. If you listen to his language, it's a very possessive form of language that he's using. Get my wife's name out of your mouth. Now, I'm not saying that if someone's threatening someone you love, you don't react as you see fit.
Remember, they're just jokes.
Offensive, yeah. Stupid, maybe. I get that. But essentially, it was a joke. So does this mean now that if I'm at a stand-up set and someone says something I find offensive, that I can go up on stage and assault them? If so, the Buttsmarn and Ricky Gervais had better be careful. Now, from what I've seen of Jada Smith, she is a strong person, more than capable of standing up for herself. I would suggest in a more appropriate and classy way than Smith did. I'd like to know why people aren't lambasting Smith for assuming he can't defend herself. Where's all the people jumping out yelling toxic masculinity at this point in time? Why aren't they screaming at him saying that she can fight her own battles? Now, I think a better way for Smith to have handled this would have to look disapproving at the camera, as we've seen previous celebrities do in the past, with the likes of Ricky Gervais. Afterwards, on the way to the Vanity Fair after party, when they're interviewed, Smith could have jumped up and said what Chris said was inappropriate. We weren't happy you made fun of Jada's alopecia, and we would like an apology. I'm pretty sure then that Chris would have said, yeah, really sorry, my bad, should not have gone there. He didn't apologise to Chris, who he hit. He apologised to everybody else, but not the person he wronged.
I want to apologize to the Academy. I want to apologize to all my fellow nominees.
I'm tipping that would show too much emotional maturity for Smith. Instead, we get his acceptance speech followed by a nailed-it grin, and we see more of his remorse later on. I also love the arrogance of Smith, assuming that everyone knows about Jada's alopecia in the first place. That he seemed to believe that there was something wrong with the assumption that her hairdo was maybe a fashion choice. There are people out there who like the shaved look. Maybe she'd shaved it for a cure. I don't know if this is a thing all over the world, but in Australia we have a thing called Shave for the Cure, where you shave your head to raise awareness for cancer. Now let's look at Smith's apology. At the Academy Awards, Smith walks brazenly up on stage, making out to Rock that he's about to have a bit of a joke with him, and then takes Rock completely by surprise, slaps him, and then walks off stage before Rock can even react. To me, that slap was a bit of a coward slap. And then on Monday, Smith apologises on social media, not actually facing up to Chris Rock and apologising to his face, but hiding behind social media. Now Smith, or maybe one of his lackeys, wrote, "My behaviour at last night's Academy Awards was unacceptable and inexcusable. Jokes at my expense are part of the job. But a joke about Jada's medical condition was too much for me to bear, and I reacted emotionally." Now, American spelling aside, I think the language of this apology is important. There's one crucial word which invalidates this entire apology. The word but. Now, I've always taught my kids that apologies should be unreserved. Once you add a but, it then becomes an excuse, not an apology. Later on, however, Smith, or one of his lackeys, wrote, "I would like to publicly apologise to you, Chris. I was out of line and I was wrong. I'm embarrassed and my actions were not indicative of the man I want to be. There is no place for violence in a world of love and kindness." Now, if that was all that he'd written, if that was all that he wrote, yeah, that's an apology. That would have been a damn good apology. But the preamble turned the whole thing into an attempted justification for his actions. Finally, I'd like to take my hat off to Chris Rock, who, at the end of the set, after Will Smith finally shut up, went on, made a self-deprecating joke, and carried on. You can see he's stunned, as you would be if Will Smith came up on stage and slapped you for what you saw as an innocent joke. Now, I have heard people say that if Rock hadn't made this joke, then the incident would not have happened. I've got one thing to say to those people. Victim blame much? Because that's what this sentiment is, victim blaming. Think that one through. My thoughts? Smith should have been escorted from the venue immediately. may be charged, but Rock has chosen not to charge Smith. Do you think Will Smith was right to walk up and slap Chris? Or do you think Smith should have waited and demanded an apology, or even more stunning and brave, left Jada to handle it? After all, the comment was aimed at her. You know? But again, people don't seem to be considering that one. Make a comment down below. Let's hear what you have to say. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Maybe I can forage up to 1,000 subscribers by the time I die. If you didn't like this video, thank you for sticking with it for this long. Russinator out.